What's up, folks? Welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I'm joined once again with a good friend of mine, a great friend of mine that helped me through my alcohol abuse, really helped to heal me. 𝗦𝗏𝗶𝗹, 𝗦𝗏𝗶𝗹 up in Mystic Mountain, Colorado. In where is it? It's
See, Crestone, Colorado.
Crestone, Colorado, right? Mystic Mountain, Crestone,
Yeah.
Colorado. Great place to retreat. And I got to tell you, folks, we went through some hard practices up there, spiritual stuff with medicine, and I gotta say I look at you as a mentor and somewhat of a guru shaman when it comes to this stuff. So I really respect your intelligence and your experience in the medicine in this field. Bob, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, glad to be here. Yeah. So I was just remembering the time that that when you first came, man, your body was tough. It had gone through it, and I felt this extreme inflammation in your body, and you were still recovering from the back surgery, and you had all the drugs in you, and I was like, man, we gotta do the work, and so we did, and I really commend you because you stuck with it, and and it's just such a beautiful thing that you've you keep coming up, and we still get to spend time together and dive into the mystery. So
There's
thanks,
something
thanks for
about
all
being
that.
in, yeah, there's something about being in nature and pushing yourself spiritually. I believe the medicine that you use is a tool for spiritual work if you use it correctly. Um, and I feel like you know what I for me, it's gotten a lot easier, the sobriety. I don't indulge in drugs or alcohol anymore. But when I was up there seeing you, I was still drinking. I was still having I had a lot of baggage, man. A lot of baggage. I was just retired from boxing. I didn't know who the hell I was. I lost all my sense of identity. I was just a very mixed up, confused person. And I gotta say, like going there and doing the work with you helped me immensely. So, Bob, I appreciate everything that you've done for me. Believe me. And what I want to talk about in this podcast really is the year of 2025, the year of the snake, astrology and numerology, why they're so important. I know the occult follows this. They follow a completely different calendar, correct? I mean, they don't even follow the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah, there's different calendars that are out there. There's ancient, the Mayans, they have the 13-month calendar, and then which I prefer myself, makes sense. And then there's that old Egyptian calendar, which is I'm not going to get the number right, but it's something like 2,800 years off of our calendar, which is way more ancient than any European calendar that was out there. So, but the thing to remember is all of us as humans are co-creating the reality. And so if we all come together and we can agree on one thing, then we can create amazing stuff. Remember, Yeshua said, when you work together, you're gonna move mountains. I mean, that's true. It's amazing. So the only thing that humans really can agree on is the calendar. So everybody agrees that this year is 2025. Everybody knows that.
But I have a very big Christian audience, right? A huge Christian audience. They're going to look at this and go, "Oh, this is demonic numerology, astrology is purely demonic. We should just follow what Yeshua says, Jesus Christ. I don't want to believe in this stuff. It's all hocus pocus garbage." What do you have to say to those people?
Well, I would say thank you and bless your heart for having a personal relationship with Jesus. That's what I would say first of all, because I do too. And if you go through the Bible, there's many different references to planets and stars and numbers. So, for example, in the book of Job, Job talks about Arcturus and Orion and the Pleiades, and it's right there. And I was going like, how would he know about that? How would he know about that stuff? So, I mean, it was really pretty amazing. And then they talk about numbers. They talk about um, what's this number, the 666, where does that come from, and what is all that about?
Well, people say
Eh,
that's purely demonic. That's the sign, the number of Satan.
yeah, yeah, that's That's what they say, you know. But what I'm saying is that there are numbers that are in the body of our tradition and stars. Jesus said himself, "Look to the stars for my second coming. Look to the stars." And then the Zoroastrians, the Magi who came, the three wise men, they got the sign in the sky. They saw the star and they say, we know he's coming. We know this is our sign." And you know, their philosophy is of the stars and of the numbers, and they knew it, and so they showed up. So I think one of the biggest I'm an okay scholar. I'm not a great biblical scholar, but it was when David wasn't king yet and Saul was king, and David went to a seer in the town square to have a communication with someone that had passed, and and they said, "Oh, this is bad. We shouldn't be doing this," you know. So I think the message more than anything else is, you know, you've got the entire kingdom of heaven within your being and within your body, and that's what you should rely on. You should rely on your own internal guidance system and rely on that and trust that over what somebody else says. So I guess my message, you know, to anyone that, you know, has doubt over numerology or astrology, anything like that, trust your intuition,
or
trust your
simply
your wisdom within.
or simply use it as a tool.
Yeah, it's just a tool. Like if
Okay.
I have a hammer and I'm using a hammer, it can be a lot of fun. But if the hammer's used on me, it's not much fun. The hammer's not good or bad. It's just the way
So
that
it's your
it's used.
intention behind it, the intention behind what you're using here. So if you use it for good, if you're using it to
Yeah,
hurt people, using it for your own benefit to do evil, that's another whole thing right there, right? I mean, that's what you're saying.
yeah, it is. It is. And you know, there's a lot of people that are out there channeling and and giving a lot of information. And sometimes I listen to it, but sometimes it creates some codependency because you keep going to the channeler instead of getting your own internal guidance system. But there's some really excellent channelers that are out there that I trust, and I love to hear their information. Now, is it everything? No, it's a suggestion, and it's up to me whether I take it or not. So
Well,
that's
here's
how I
one
look
thing
at
you
it.
can take, Bob. Here's one thing you can take. Collagen, folks. Get your collagen. Did you know a 2024 study found collagen supplements can boost skin hydration by 14%, improve elasticity by 23%, and reduce wrinkles by nearly 20% in just 12 weeks? This is your sign to use collagen to transform your skin from the inside out. But unfortunately, most collagen typically found on store shelves is filled with junk. That's why I've been using this amazing product for the past few years, and I'm obsessed with the results. Unlike other collagen supplements, this collagen uses top 5 types of collagen for skin health. This premium collagen blend works together to help reduce visible signs of aging, reduce wrinkles, promote a youthful glow, promote elasticity, and promote skin hydration. I just mix it into my morning coffee or shake, and it handles the rest. Try it yourself and start healing your skin. Place your order while it's 51% off, folks. And go to Health with Nino. Plus, you'll receive a VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, a free ebook titled The 14 Foods of Amazing Skin, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, and free shipping if you order now. Get over there, folks. Get it. Health with Nino. All right, Bob. So, numerology and astrology. You're not saying it's evil. You're just saying it depends on who is using it and the intention behind it. That's going to be
Yeah,
the
that's it. That's it. Yeah.
okay.
So
2025.
for example, yeah, so 2025 is a nine. Okay. Now nine is a very interesting number. Okay. So uh I'll just go through the numbers really quickly. So like one is a leader, two, they like a beautiful body, three, they're a comedian and they're funny, you know, four, it's about law and order, five, it's being attractive, six is home and family, seven, which you are, you're a genius. Eight is
I'm
about
a
wealth.
genius and I took a lot of hits to the head.
Yeah, I
Ruin
know.
that.
Well, that's what I thought was really interesting. Like when you came up here and we're hiking around and we're going to the sacred spots and we're doing this stuff. You remember I told you, I said, you're not like a boxer at all. You don't feel like a boxer to me. You feel like an intelligent, well-educated guy, and I was like, it's like I expected something different, like a brute. You're not a
You
brute. You're
expected like some
intelligent.
Neanderthal.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you never know. I mean, I don't know anything about boxing. I mean, what it takes to get into a ring and pound the crap out of
But
some other
maybe I just
guy.
needed to be stimulated in different ways because I was so bored.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. But I mean, you had your method down. I mean, I remember you telling me like you would knock him out like in the first 3 minutes. Like, and I'm looking at your hands, and your hands aren't necessarily that big, and you're like, I'm gonna ping him. I'm gonna ping him, and you had your method,
PSI,
and that
Bob.
was
PSI.
cool. So I appreciated the intelligence that you had there. So that's seven. So that's genius. So nine energy is if you add nine to any other number, like 9 plus 6 is 15, and the one plus the five is a six. 9 plus 7 is an eight is a 16, and the one plus a six is a seven. So what a nine does is it morphs and shifts into the thing that it's next to. So that's what the nine energy is. It will morph and shift into, let's say, if you're setting an intention, then the nine energy, the entire universe will shift and make that intention more magnified. So it's almost like a quantum leap or an octave. If you have a do re mi fa sol la ti do scenario, it's like that. It's a quantum shift in what already is. So that's pretty cool. And so that's one thing that I notice. Where we're at. So nine is pretty powerful. Now you're a seven fire snake, okay? And I'm a snake too. So snakes are enemies with pigs, and incredibly intelligent, fun and playful, and we're bad gamblers, so don't gamble.
Oh, I figured that out on my own.
Yeah, yeah. So
Ah.
if you want to lose some money, do that. But the snake also is the entity that, dives into the many different dimensions. It's like, when a snake in nature dives into the cracks and crevices and can eat, bugs and rodents and then make nature beautiful. So snakes create beauty. That's one of the amazing
and
things that they
and
do.
that's this year, the year of the snake. And
That's it. Yeah.
so happens to be the year of Xi Jinping, China. So it
Right.
says here
Yeah.
Xi Jinping, date of birth June 15th, 1953. He is a snake.
He is
See,
a
I thought
snake.
I thought Trump was a snake, but Trump is a dog, you said.
He's a dog. Yeah. So, and then dogs are really good. And the other thing too is the US military was founded in a dog year. That's why he has such a great friendship with the military. And so he's really good. He's really good on taking care of our boys and making sure that they're good, and what a blessing. So they're not thrown under the bus. So uh China itself is an ox, and the snake and the ox are really good friends. So
Oh boy.
yeah, so it's not, a lot of people like to rattle the saber at China, but you got to remember that in ancient times, the Chinese are traders. They're incredible traders. Like, they know how to trade. And anytime anybody wanted anything, they would go to China along the Silk Road, and they get the Chinese goods, and then they bring them out and sell them. And that's how money was made. And they lagged behind in the 18 and 1900s, and they suffered a lot. But China, you know, they don't want to attack their biggest customer. That's us. They don't want to do that. And I'm hoping that
But they may attack in the year of the snake. Maybe could they attack Taiwan? Or
I don't,
would that also cause a
yeah,
problem with the United States, obviously?
I don't think they're going to attack Taiwan, but I think they're going to come up with a peaceful resolution with Taiwan. I think that's what they're going to do. And
So Bob,
and
let me ask this just for a second. So numerology and astrology, if we used together, is a powerful tool, correct? They've
yeah,
said they've said, what's the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire? It's I've always heard it was astrology, but I guess I can throw numerology in there as well.
right,
So this is to me and probably to my audience, who a lot of them are Christians. They're going to be looking at this very jigsaw, this whole podcast, because they're going to be, wait a minute here, wait, just a second. And I got
sure,
to side with him on this because I don't worship I don't worship the occult practices at all. But what you're saying here is it's used as a tool if you have the right intention. So
right.
explain numerology and explain astrology and how they work together.
So in the numerology, there is a window. There is a propensity for something to happen. Okay, so the number of this year is a nine. So that means that this year is a really great year for everyone to do what, like if you have a special project or if you wanted to start a new business or get into a new relationship, you will be supported this year. That's what the nine energy is all about. It will morph to it. And then the snake, frequency that really creates this hyper intelligence. In other words, we're gonna things that we were dumb about, we can be smart about it, this year, which is really cool. And then we can make more connections than we've had, in the past. So each of the numbers have a particular quality about it, and then each of these Chinese uh, animals have a particular quality of it, and then you get into Western astrology, which is the planets, which we haven't talked about yet, but they're all working together and they're all coming into this vortex, and I'm trying to keep it simple and not confuse everybody. But so there's some things that are happening, in the world, and you got to remember that the warmongers like to control the news and your feed on Instagram and Facebook, and they like to tell you that we're going to start a war with China and that China's going to, attack Taiwan and all of that stuff that's going to happen. I mean, China's going to protect its trade routes. That's what China's going to do. And it's going to create relationships with its customers, and that's what China's always done. Now, China's always been the labor force of the planet, and so they're the ones that always produce the labor, and they're the ones that make stuff. Russia
Which
is,
Trump is trying to change right now and bring it back to America, make us the labor force of the planet,
yeah,
right? I mean, that's why he's putting out those
yeah.
tariffs.
Essentially, what has happened is if you, it depends on where the tax occurs, or where the debt occurs. Let's say that. So if you have a trade imbalance, and let's say if we trade with China and we have a 10% trade imbalance, then that 10% gets put onto the American people, and the American people get taxed for it. They're supposed to get taxed for it. But the problem is we've been so pathetic on balancing our budget. Like the last person that you ever want to get into your finance is a bunch of politicians. That's madness. So the idea is, instead of having the debt, burdened upon the American people, the debt then can get burdened upon, the multinational corporations, because it's their responsibility actually to pay those tariffs, when they come and go. And that's what the Europeans do. It's like, okay, if there's a trade imbalance, then this corporation has to pay for that, and that's that. And it's not that big of a deal. But this kind of behavior, these huge trade deficits, um, have just created massive amounts of debt, in our country. And it's like you've given somebody your credit card and they're going out and they're spending it, recklessly, even buying guns, and people are getting shot with it. And you can't cancel the credit card. It's horrible, So the other thing is then, okay, well, let's take the debt and put it on the front side and do it like that. Now, I believe that, with the nature of Xi Jinping, him being the snake, he's a three snake. And actually, the three, is it's supposed to be comedian and funny. That guy is so stoic. He's so serious, and he's just sitting there, and he's just in this, like, he's in the zone like all the time. You can tell um how he's behaving. It's pretty amazing. And he's not boisterous, and he's not angry. He's just peace and calm all the time. I've never seen a world leader like hold his core more than Xi Jinping. It's pretty phenomenal. So then and then remember, China is ox. Now the United States, we're a monkey. And and the the monkey is friends with dragons and rats. Okay, so Putin is a dragon, and Russia is also a dragon. So they're
Wow.
both seven dragons. So they're genius. They're wicked
I
smart.
wonder
So
what Elon Musk is.
Elon Musk is a seven pig. He's a seven
Interesting.
pig. Seven is genius, and pigs, they know how to have fun, help their friends, and they are lucky in gambling. They're so if you ever want to go to Vegas, go with Elon or a pig.
But I'm
So
a bad gambler supposedly, so I can't do that. So
yeah, no, you can't. Yeah. So I would be looking more at, trying to do a negotiation with Putin would be way more difficult than doing a negotiation with Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping is going to do, based on his three snake personality, he's going to be practical. He's going to come up with solutions, you know. Um, uh, the ox, is steady, just steady,
so
like
with
it's
all of the
it's
okay, so
strong and steady and
so with
dependable. And that's
so
China. No.
so what does 2025 mean? All right, let's just cut through it all right here. Let's just talk about this. What's going to happen in your perspective, in your mind? What's being laid out for 2025? What do you see happening in 2025? And let's even 20 talk about Trump's entire administration. Is it the
Right,
entire 4 years? Is 2025, 26, 27, 28? I mean, what's going to
right.
happen from what you can see with numerology and astrology and their signs and the whole thing? How do you see 2025 going to 2026 and beyond?
Right. Well, the first thing in 2025 is that the snake has to shed its skin. That's the first thing that's happening. And that's what's going on right now. And we Trump got elected, yay, this is fun, and all of a sudden he's throwing in there, Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal. Like, where did that come from?
Both of
That kind of
America.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a world takeover
Well, I mean,
in its own way. It kind of
Amer
is.
well, America is North and South America. It's more appropriate, really. I mean, Mexico is part of America, and so is Canada, and so is Panama, and so is Belize. They're all there. There's many, countries in the Americas. So it's actually more appropriate. But I just I think it's see, Trump's a showman. So the first thing he does is he puts something outrageous out there, and it seems ridiculous. So what he's saying essentially to the Canadians and the Mexicans is, hey, look, we've been giving you so much money, you might as well be a state, because the only way that we could justify this much money is if you were a state, okay? And really what he wanted to do is he wanted to stop the fentanyl coming into the country, and he wanted to stop the illegals coming in. And guess what Mexico did? They did. They stepped up and they said, okay, yes, we'll comply. And so it works. So it's a strategy. We're not gonna absorb Canada or Mexico, unless the Canadians really wanted to do that. Canadian culture is very similar to American culture. I love Canadian people. I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
do
like
too.
if you want to do that, I'm okay with it, because they don't
Well, I'm here on
have.
the border, so all I know is really
Yeah,
the Mexican American Chicano culture. And that's to me has
yeah.
always been American culture. So I wouldn't even mind if Mexico got absorbed into America, but I don't see that ever happening.
Yeah, the cultures, it's a bit of a, there's a lot of differences between Mexican and
I would
Americans.
say Canada and America are the majority of America, and Canada are like USA, but Mexico is a very prideful people, very machismo. I don't think they're
Yeah,
just going to say, okay, we're part of America now. I think they'll go down fighting before that happens.
yeah. I
But
really
then again,
wish
they're
that.
all trying to come here anyway. So,
Yeah, I really wish that with NAFTA, that some of the corruption and some of the drug lord behavior would have been reduced, but it didn't work. So let's see what happens there. I mean,
so
and I just
2025 seems to be to you a smooth sail is shedding the skin. Explain shedding the skin, like
well,
a
well,
rough
shedding.
year.
No, well, massive change, but it can be change in a really good year. So 1989, okay. Guess what happened in 1989? A snake year. Communism ended with the Berlin Wall came down. I mean, that was huge. That was really huge. Now, and then but 2011, that was 9/11, or excuse me, 2001 was 9/11. And so that changed our direction pretty drastically, which I was not happy
Was
about.
2001 a snake year?
Yes, it was a
Oh,
snake year. But there's a snake year and there's a nine snake year. Okay. So the nine snake year is when communism ended. And then in 1953, um, that's when Stalin died and the Korean War got to end. And that's when there was the first ascent of Mount Everest. So there was really some cool stuff, that happened. Um,
well,
it's,
if you think about it, globalism is ending this year. It seems to me.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
Yeah, I don't know if we can say that. I mean,
well,
I think
everything
I
that
think I think I think bad behavior in globalism is ending, but I think globalism is going to
that's what I
be. I
mean.
think, yeah,
the
the
agenda
world.
of 2030, that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah, those guys are horrible. I don't even
Where
know. I don't
everybody
even.
gets these and gets upgrades and AI takes over. I just see like
Yeah.
that coming to an end. It's definitely being fought this year. I'll say that.
Oh, well, it was fought tooth and nail because remember in the Dragon year in 2024, I mean that was the big push to get this Federal Reserve digital currency online, and the Federal Reserve it's stolen our bank. We're using, and it's backed by oil. And if that ever came online, we'd be in perpetual war forever, war for oil, and that's what they wanted. Man, it was so nice where Trump says no, we're that's illegal. We're not doing that, and we're embracing crypto, and that was massive. And you know I made a bunch of money on that little decision, and it was like, thank you. And it's like, yeah, we're gonna get you guys some relief. So so the the theme of 2025 being the nine is it will magnify whatever is here, and the snake that is here um is huge transformation. And then the other thing that we haven't talked about is there is a parade of planets going on, in the cosmos that we haven't seen for like 250 years. It's really pretty cool. So all of these planets are supporting whatever decision you would like to make. So in other words, it doesn't matter what you do this year, just do something and you're going to be supported. I mean, it's an incredible time. It's so phenomenal. When I
A
saw this
manifestation
intersection,
year, it's going to be magnified. The
yes,
manifestation will be magnified.
mega manifestation year, mega manifestation.
And it'll
So
carry out through the other years.
yeah, it'll carry out, through at least through the 4-year cycle. So things are going to change. Now, if you're a pig, I'd probably take it easy and be conservative, and because pigs are enemies with the snake. But but then with the 9 and everything else, I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, it really is a blessing that Trump was able to survive, 2024. I mean, he was that close to being, you know, taken
Taken out.
down or,
Yeah, deleted.
yeah, eliminated, deleted. Yeah. And that
And then
that
this
close.
whole year
Yeah.
would have been a
Yeah.
manifesting year for nefarious reasons, nefarious purposes, correct? It would have been a
Yeah.
completely type of energy, different type of energy.
Right. Yeah. Could you
Same
imagine
energy,
if
just manifesting for evil.
exactly? Yeah. And they
Wow.
were they were pushing for it hard, and they tried. They tried and they failed. I mean, so personally, I don't know if I'd want to invite Trump over to my house for dinner because he's got a big ego and he's that guy. But as he's getting older and as he's, been in the office, his characteristics have softened, and he's really turning into a pretty cool guy. And but in terms of what the world needs and what we need, the guy is really super practical. I mean, it's really incredible. Like, okay, so he's going like, I got a solution for Gaza. I got a solution for Gaza. So I mean, these poor people, oh my God, I can't imagine what these poor Palestinian people are suffering through. I don't even know how they're there. I mean, you see the pictures and it's a demolition site. I don't even know how a person can be in that. If they are, I know a lot of them have left and they should be allowed to leave. Um, but see, the problem is Israel never had any leverage to change it, and it's just one of those places on the planet that it's so bad, it has to be cleaned up, it has to be corrected, and it's like ripping the Band-Aid off.
And
It's
I
going to be
think I
tough.
think it's kind of a jab at Israel that he's saying, we're not going to wipe them off the planet. We're gonna move them out of Gaza and send them. We're going to relocate them because isn't
Right,
this a bloodline war? I mean, don't they want to exterminate? I mean, I don't want to say it here on FluffTube because we're on YouTube, but
right,
I mean, don't they
right.
want? I
Well,
mean, they want
all
them
the
gone, right? They want them gone, correct?
yeah. Well, you want all the agendas, and I think there's compassion with people on both sides. But see, the thing about it is the Israelis don't have leverage. The United States has leverage over Jordan and Egypt. Why is that? Because we give them, millions of dollars in foreign aid every year. And it's really simple. It's like, Jordan, if you want your foreign aid, you're going to have to take some of these Palestinian refugees. We'll help you. We'll help you, and would you be willing to work with us to give them nice homes and let their kids grow up playing soccer in the neighborhood, and going to school and working without getting shot, and that's that. So when I don't know if we're actually going to occupy Gaza. I don't think that's the point. I think the point is that we've got to relocate these people because this situation is just unbearable and it has to change. So that's something, that massive transformation is the power of this nine snake year. That's how powerful it is. And he's actually pulling it off. And I'm going like, I never thought this would happen. I would never, in my lifetime, I I went into the Soviet Union in 1981. I traveled behind the Iron Curtain. I took a bus from Vienna all the way to Moscow. I learned a lot, and I was like, wow, this is a whole other world. And I never thought I would see communism end or the Berlin Wall come down. There I was witnessing it. So I think it's going to be like that this year. We're going to be witnessing a lot of amazing, amazing things. So, but it's also a time of empowerment. Another a nine snake year was in 1773 when the it was actually when the American patriots dumped the tea into the harbor. That was a Boston Tea Party. um and in 1809 there was finally peace between the United Kingdom and the Ottoman Empire. 1845 Texas becomes a state. 1881 Kansas prohibits alcohol. And 1917 women's suffrage. So there's a lot of really good things that happen on these nine snake years. It's pretty phenomenal.
I
And
find
that's
this
what
to be I find this to be pretty crazy. Zelensky's calling for an army of Europe to take on Russia without US. So now that he knows that this war is not furthering with our help in the Ukraine, now he's urging Europe to create an army and urges him to make it urges as Trump urges him to make a deal with Putin. So he does not want to make a deal with Putin, but he's
no, he
urging an
doesn't.
army of Europe. So what I mean, what does
That's not
this
gonna
tell you?
happen. Well, I think I think during the nine snake years it's a time to look at what's practical, like what's really practical. The reason why Russia went into Crimea, it would be like, the United States, if there was another country that was controlling New Orleans, and New Orleans is the port, that controls the entire Mississippi Valley, is like we can't have that. We you know,
Well,
we need.
there's a lot of well, hold on. This could go in a different direction with the podcast, but let's
Yeah.
keep it pretty simplified for my audience because my audience is very up to par on what's happening with Russia and Ukraine and what was going on in Ukraine with the deep state and everything. So that's a whole nother subject matter I don't even want to get into on here. But
Okay.
I
Well, I
just want to
mean,
talk about a broad spectrum of things that, it
I
seems
think
like to me.
I
Go
think I
ahead.
think Russia needs to control its port and its waterway, and Ukraine was working against that, and so that's what created the conflict. And I think they're going to come back into a practical agreement to say,
This year.
uh, I believe so. I believe so. I think it's on Trump's list. I mean, he's dealing with so much stuff, and he's going to
So
get there. So, but I think also, what I noticed, like especially at the inauguration, did you notice that there were five different prayers that were said at the inauguration? And I think that assassination attempt on Trump made him a more spiritual man. I really do, and I think that's a good thing. And I think he realized that God saved him, and we all realize that the hand of God is upon this man, and we need to make sure that he's not hurt or destroyed. Um,
So there's going to be a lot of changes this year. Obviously, you don't see any kind of conflict or war happening this year.
I think war is going to stop. I think I think with proper global leadership, there's no need for war at all. Everything can be negotiated. And the reason why there's war is because negotiations break down, and we've got the ultimate negotiator. That's Trump, man. He is the negotiator. I mean, he's really good. He's not kind of good. He's an avatar negotiator, and I think that he's going to be able to come up with some amazing solutions that people haven't thought about. I mean, he broke the he broke the Gaza stalemate, and that's phenomenal. I never thought I'd see that happen. But I think he can break the Ukraine Russia stalemate. I think he can do
So
it.
if 2025 is the year of the snake and we're shedding the skin, 2026 would be what? A year of prosperity, a year of Conflict. What
It's
what would
it's
2026 be?
it's that's the horse. So 2026 is the horse, and it's the horse is about they make good athletes and scientists. They don't like lazy people. Um, so 2026 is like let's do it. Let's get to work, because you think about horsepower and the horses, like really moving and making things happen. And I think we're going to be able to really rocket ourselves. Yeah, so
Um,
it's getting back to work, and then when we go into 2027, that's the goat, and it's when we get to celebrate, we get to enjoy the fruits of our labor. I mean, this is going to happen fast. I mean, it's not like a little thing. It's like we will be able to create so much in these first 2 years that the third year it's going to like party time. And then in 2028 is the year of the monkey, and monkeys are very playful, but they're very witty and they're very smart. So it's about just enjoying the processes that we have created, and the ability to rely on the systems that actually work and sustain us. And that's been like the biggest hit to the American people, is the systems that are supposed to support and sustain us have been under attack. And I'm really hoping that whatever's going to happen in these 4 years, that it can be permanent. It won't be just for these 4 years. That'll turn into policy, uh, you know, for a long time. And boy, I'm grateful that actually Trump had those 4 years to kind of like get organized and get himself together and see what's on the plate. And the other thing it did is it showed us how far the left would go and how awful it would be. We're still suffering from lack of free speech on this platform. If we say the wrong words, we'll
yeah,
get
yeah.
deplatformed. That's not cool. That's
Still,
not
even with everything happening,
cool.
still, it's just
Yeah.
I still have to get the community guidelines, read them over. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not cool. And it's just some of our rights and privileges as Americans, boy, they were on the slaughterhouse floor. They were on the slaughterhouse floor. And if we, went down that road, it would have been really, really, awful. So I'm so grateful that there's good stuff ahead of us. So during the shedding period is where we're in right now, and we're going to come out, and things are really going to be good. The American economy is so huge that you try to make a change or a shift to direct it, it takes a long time for it to respond. But I did notice in Trump's first term that the effect that he had was what it really did happen faster. It happened a lot faster. And I know I was making more money than everybody else was making more money. It's like, look at your bank account, look at what
Yeah.
you're able to do. And energy sustainability, keep the price of oil down. We still have to develop, renewable energy. Everybody knows that, but we don't have to destroy one thing to create something else.
Well, that's kind of what he's doing. He's
That's
saying drill,
madness.
baby, drill, but he's not taking away the electric vehicle or none of that
No,
capabilities.
yeah,
Let me
not
ask you
a
something. Let me switch gears here for a second because I just brought up astrology and I said a demonic, and I put a question mark. It says here some Christians have considered astrology to be demonic and some believe it can lead to deception by demons. However, the scientific community considers astrology to be a pseudoscience with no evidence to support its claims. Now, I said earlier, what's the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire? And it's astrology. And then I threw in
right.
there, numerology to boot. But it says here early Christians and Jews were against astrology, and the church fathers would punish those who practiced it. And
Yeah,
why would they punish these people? 120 AD, Aquila Ponticus, a well known mathematician, was excommunicated from the Roman church for practicing astrology. And this is a
sure.
mathematician.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you got to remember that, the church would attack or destroy anyone that wasn't preaching their doctrine. So if it was anything other than the doctrine that they were preaching, they would be tortured. It's like, I can't remember the scientist, the one that said, hey, the sun is the center of our solar system and we rotate around the sun, not all the planets around the earth. I want to say Copernicus, but he was afraid to publish. He waited to publish his teachings until he died. A lot of them did that. So it was the dark ages. It was rough. A human was not treated very well. You weren't allowed to read or to write. Uh, you know, and by God, if you say something intelligent, we can't have that. We're just going to kill you. So yeah, they were doing that to numerologists and astrologers, but they were also doing it to scientists and anybody else that spoke up.
but yeah,
And
whoever had any outside views that didn't
yeah,
correlate with the church, right?
right. It was really dark, and then the ancient mystical, Jewish system is the Kabbalah, and that's all numerology and planets and everything there, you know. So
I have here it
there's a
says,
yeah, there's a foundation for numerology and astrology everywhere, but there's also behavior of attacking anybody that practiced it. Also, I mean, it's you get both in the same space. So
it says in biblical text, numerology often appears in the context of prophecy and apocalyptic literature. Numbers in these contexts can symbolize concepts and play a role in interpreting divine messages. What
yes,
does the Bible say about numerology? Well, some to 666 is known as the evil number. However, the term evil is because it says in the Bible 666 is the mark of the beast. Can you explain that?
I've
Or
heard,
try to
I've heard,
explain that. I know that's a
yeah. I mean, I've heard all kinds of things around that. It's just so it's anybody's guess. I mean, we don't have a context. Could it be a date? Could it be a quality? Could it be let's say somebody gets a technology put into their body so that they can buy and sell. um and I've seen different people call it different things. A lot of people say it's just the end of time. So there's like 60 uh seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day. That it's an expression of just time way, way, way in the future. But the Bible doesn't say it's time. It says it's the mark of the beast. So then you gotta define the beast. Like, what the heck is that, right?
the beast be AI, artificial intelligence.
Possibly, possibly, yeah. I think there's
Would
a.
666 be when it comes online, maybe?
It could be a time. It could be a time or an energy signature. I mean, the world, the world was hijacked and enslaved from, gosh, maybe like 165,000 years ago, and we're just coming out of that. It's taking humans um, to become conscious so that they can break out of the energetic enslavement that we suffered through. That's a whole other story. But if you read the Nag Hammadi Bible, and it'll talk about the story of creation, and it talks about archons, and it talks about other things, which it really blew me away. I was surprised, to see some of that in there. But and then if you look at like Isaac Asimov, for example, his writings are all about that there are these amazing numerologists that would calculate all of these events like way ahead in the future, and sure enough they would show up and they would appear and they would do that. And that's a science fiction, um set a book that talks about numerologists and how they affect the reality. And so, but the biggest thing is, there's I think Jesus said there's no man knows the time or the day or the hour. No man knows the time or the day or hour. And I believe that.
What's the
And
number? What's the number? I remember you telling me something like the number for humanity is 666. Am I right in saying that, or am I wrong?
uh I don't recall saying that.
I don't know where I got
Um
that from. Maybe my audience,
yeah,
if you're watching this, folks,
yeah,
while you're watching this, put this in the comments. I thought there was like some kind of like symbol or number numerology for man, and it was 666
yeah.
or something like that. Which to me, I would think
Well,
it's his
man,
ego.
man is a five. We're a fifth dimensional. Our bodies are fifth dimensional. Let's say that.
So head, arms, two legs, arm like a star.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Our planet, according to the Platonic solids, is a dodecahedron. That's a five. Um, and then you move into six. That's love. Seven is magic. Eight is choices, Saturn, dominance, and controller,
So wait a
serenity.
second. If six is love, what's 666?
Yeah, well, it would be love upon love upon love. But
Oh,
that could
wait a
be.
minute here.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I
gonna
know. It's
throw
just,
everyone off. If they, I
I
mean,
know it's going to
seriously.
throw everything off. Yeah. So, but you got to take it with a grain of salt, and then just see, okay, what's really going on, because um if it could be that the mark of the beast is extreme sexuality and profanity in that way also. That could be it also.
Perversion. Perversion.
Perversion. I mean, look at the Roman Empire. God, they did really creepy things, and do all kinds of stuff, and that might be
The
it
downfall.
might be a sexual number. Yeah, but we need to, I always tell people, don't ever, physically connect with someone unless you actually love them, and then if you don't, then take the time to let that love grow, and
Well,
do it that way.
if you really think about it today, especially like the year, I mean, the generation today, generation, whatever they are, Z, instant gratification, OnlyFans. I mean, swipe left, swipe right. I mean, everything is instant, instant, instant. Nobody courts anybody anymore. Everything is just
I
uh
know
there's no real
it's yeah,
relationships, there's no connection. Everything is done through the Zoom, through internet,
yeah.
social media. Nobody really connects anymore on a human level, in my opinion. At least it's heading that way.
I think they do, but
OnlyFans.
yeah, I mean, I look at some of
Every
these.
girl now has an OnlyFans account. Every guy's having an OnlyFans. It's crazy. So, like when you're dating somebody, oh, you have an
Yeah,
OnlyFans. You have to accept it. Lawyers, doctors have an OnlyFans account. It's so that makes sense to me what you just said.
yeah. So that could be it. I mean, I'm speculating here. I don't have any. I don't share anything unless I've researched it properly and really know, what's there. And so, the 666, it's speculative. It's anybody's guess, but there's some. Um, but you look at what's the sexual agenda, the pornography agenda, what's the drug agenda, and it's essentially to control humanity. Um, Things can get creepy when you start looking at their sexual rituals, that occur, and those are being replicated online, and and so the energy, goes into the device and goes somewhere, and then when you start asking where that goes, that gets really weird. So I think that we're being energetically fed off of, but I believe that we're going to reclaim some of our dignity and our
Well,
sovereignty
just
and
look at
our human
the
culture.
rituals. Just look at the rituals they put right in our face, like Hollywood, the movies,
Yeah, oh, yeah,
commercials. The rituals are right there. There's spells in music, in the entertainment industry. All the music people listen today have spells and we're
yeah, they
put
do.
out with ritual. Yeah, and then what about like the Super Bowl halftime show? I mean, every year it's everyone knows. Let's get
So
together to watch the
creepy.
ritual, the ceremony. Yeah.
Yeah, so creepy. I was like, are you kidding me? Like what the heck, man? It's like I can't. And that's like the World Economic Forum agenda. Like I saw an opening of a tunnel, a train tunnel. I think it was in Switzerland, and they did this whole parade, and it was the most bizarre, perverted thing I'd ever seen. And I was like, what is that? Who does that? Where's that coming from? That's madness. That doesn't make sense. So the good thing to know is like the ones that are stuck on the planet with us, I call them laggard souls. They're addicted to destruction, and they came here to work out their karma. They've been leaving, and there's only a few more to go. And when they're all gone, we don't have to run that agenda anymore.
So
And
they're on their
so
way out now.
they are on the way out. They're not allowed to incarnate anymore. They will live out their lives and be done. So
Look at
so
this. I
there's
mean,
this,
just look at the symbology here. I mean, there's an apple, the bite of the apple, right? They really put that
right.
in your face. And then here's this kind of like tic-tac-toe something. I don't know what this is, Squid Game type stuff. I mean,
Right.
the symbology
There's
in all of this.
yeah,
Uncle
it's over
Sam is
here.
black. I mean, it's
Right.
obviously they're trying to uh, propel or perpetuate this racial type of division. I mean, this whole
Yeah.
halftime show was black. I don't even know,
Was there
but
one white
they're making
was there one
they're
white person on there?
no, and I mean they made Uncle Sam. It's almost like, okay, you voted for Trump, here you go. Beyonce wins country. Uncle Sam is black. They're doing this on purpose to me,
Yeah,
Wonder Bob. I
they
think
are.
this is all
They
about
are.
instigating
It's a,
some kind of
it's
racial divide.
it is. It's a programming. The whole thing is, well, that's what we learned about, Antifa that was trying to create separation and violence, Black Lives Matter. I mean, it just kept going and going,
But
and they're
why?
trying to.
Why always black versus white? Why did they do this?
It's just one of the platforms that they'll try to use to create division and to create violence. Um, and it's yeah, it's really a thing. I think the black population of America is only like 14% even. It's really not, we're not that black, but I
Right.
think every race deserves respect. But like maybe next year it's all going to be
This is how,
Asian people, you
yeah.
know. Uh,
This is
so
how they perpetuate, you know, division and they throw
it
gasoline on
does.
the fire. This type of stuff
Yeah,
right here. I mean,
they
and
just want to
then
insult you. Yeah,
and they're doing it a lot this year. Notice they did it with Beyonce with winning the country awards, and then that
yeah,
pissed off a lot of white country singers. Right now they do this on the Super Bowl. Now they have Captain America as a black guy. I mean, this is just
yeah.
it's just to me it's kind of silly. It's kind of silly the way
It
they're
is.
doing this, and people bite into it. Problem, reaction, solution.
Sure. Yeah. Well, you know the system and the method, and they're still trying it. They're going to do it. Hollywood's the worst, man. They're doing some pretty evil stuff. And I think that's gonna come to an end. One thing I did appreciate about Trump is like he really stopped the sex trafficking, got that under control, and I think he's going to continue to do that, and that's going to help again. Um, so. So, but the thing to remember is that we're all powerful creators and all this stuff is going on and you can go into fear and judgment around all of it, but the most important thing to know is you are the most powerful creator. You're awesome. You're amazing. You can create out of anything. We're not going to conflict. Something doesn't have to be destroyed in order for something else to be created. We will create ourselves into new realities, new places, and new spaces, and that's the key. And this 9 snake year is massive, massive support for your creativity. You will be supported in incredible ways this year. So whatever you're doing, if you got like that business that you wanted to start, the addition on your house, that trip you wanted, whatever it is, the book that you wanted to write, the project, do it and just go
This year,
forward. Yeah, and just know that this year you are invincible this year, unless you're a
And
pig.
especially for someone who is
Yeah.
a snake sign, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm expecting great things from you, just to let you know. So
All right, there you go, folks. Let's see what I do this year.
yeah, yeah. And
Hopefully, it's a big boom and not a. But let's see.
yeah. No,
Bob, I appreciate you
I
coming
think
on.
yeah, I think you're moving into I think you're moving into next level. I really do. And there's going to be some stuff that is going to happen that will be unexpected, and it'll be beautiful. It'll be a good way. So, I mean, you got to catch up with Joe Rogan, which I love that guy, but you're doing such a great job, and people love they love you, and that's the key, is like you are a kind, loving, intelligent person, and people respond to that. And
Thank you.
so thank you for being you. And my
I
life
don't know
is
how. I
richer
always
with
look.
you
I
in
look
it.
back on my career, and I don't know how I did that. I don't. I
But
don't
you
even feel like
did.
I'm that. I'm not even that guy anymore. I look back and think, who was that guy fighting
The
in the
champ.
ring?
That was the champion. That's who that was. We all know I was the champion. You're it. So now you get to be the champion of other things. You know what it takes to be the champion. You did it. You got it. Like,
Yeah.
not too many guys achieve that. And now that you know how to be the champion, you get to be the champion of whatever you'd like to be. And you're doing it.
This year,
So this year, this is it. This is it. So make big moves. Make big moves this year.
thanks, Bob.
That's the key. Yeah, it's good.
I'll be putting this up tonight. So, all right, folks, leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, comments, and follow Bob, Wonder Bob on Facebook. Wonder, maybe that's all your platforms, right? Wonder Bob.
Yeah, yeah. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram.
And I highly suggest people get into Mystic Mountain and paying Bob a visit. Although I don't like it because it takes time away from me, but but
Yeah,
I highly recommend going out to Crestone, visiting Bob at Mystic Mountain. It's an incredible retreat, and you helped me a lot. So thank you, Bob.
yeah.
I appreciate you.
Well, we're here for you. We have all the tools and we have everything to help you. And um, and then if you want to do work online, we can do that too. It's easy.
You do work online now?
Yeah, I do.
Like, do
Yeah.
you do it with Zoom or what? I guess.
Uh, I do. Yeah, just like what we're doing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still feel like it's better to get up there though. I
It
just the
is. It
nature, up in
is.
the nature, up in the mountains, it's just way better.
Yeah.
Um,
I can tap
and
into your
not
energetic field,
everybody
but
has to do the medicine, right?
no, no, it's an option.
Okay.
So you can do a retreat with or without the medicine. And some of the best retreats I've had is without the medicine, actually.
Okay.
So it's been really fun. And so this is the crossroads of infinite possibility right here. So there's epic stuff available for you. So come and visit,
All
and then
right.
just get a hold of me on Instagram, Facebook. And love you all. Blessings, everybody.
All right, Bob. Thank you so much. All right, folks. Reach out to Bob, Wonder Bob, on all his platforms in Mystic Mountain in Crestone, Colorado. Later, Bob.